Rwanda is back in the headlines. Josh, can you talk us through this one?
Yes, so the government wants to send the small boat asylum seekers to Rwanda within 3 weeks. This is the High Court. The second legal challenge is going on at the moment. And Asylum Aid, who are taking the government to court, this is essentially what they're saying, is that the reason why it's illegal is that they're only giving the people who are coming over on the boats 3 weeks to sort of build their claim of asylum, which isn't long enough, and because the government are using the format that they've had for the EU.
Yes.
But that's obviously very different. It's much easier to access information from the EU than it is to maybe gather the right thing.
So is it the case that short window that they've sort of set up before deporting people to Rwanda, isn't that part of the deterrent idea?
Well, that's the idea. Yeah, exactly. But as Leo might point out, 3 weeks is just about enough time to get some hair dye to get rid of the grey hairs,
may not be the priority.
Yeah, anything to look 15.
Oh, I see. Leo, what do you think? I mean, look, this idea of... do you think it could work as a deterrent? Do you think that all of these people traffickers, these gangs that are exploiting these people in these really horrendous ways, they're going to look at this, or that the people are going to say, oh, well, look, Britain just deports people far too quickly, let's not bother?
No, the EU has also looked at doing this, and in Australia they do a very similar system. So
but does it work, is the question?
Yeah, in Australia it totally works. So I think they process asylum seekers offshore, and basically in Australia, if you enter Australia illegally, you automatically revoke the right to stay in Australia.
Right.
So nobody does it. And I know it's a lot harder to get to Australia because it's it's more than the English Channel.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems to work, and the asylum system is being abused, unfortunately. Like any sort of system, people work out how to game it, and so you've got a lot of people coming across the channel and then using taxpayers' money. And this, people who pay tax in this country are paying their lawyers to help them work the system to then stay on in this country. And these aren't people that are fleeing war; they're fleeing France. I mean, all right, there's no air conditioning, and there's too much garlic in the food, but it's not a war-torn hellhole.
But this is another legal challenge. A lot of this stuff ends up being tied up in the courts. I mean, is there something, Josh, to be said for the idea that we should not be outsourcing our judiciary decisions to a court in Strasbourg, right? So there's an issue of democracy here.
You might say that.
Well, no, but irrespective of what we think about the Rwanda scheme, right? I mean, whichever way you stand on that, surely we can all agree that really this is an issue of democracy.
The UK are the people, we're the ones who founded that court and put in the motion.
Long time ago.
All right, but the point is that there was a reason why we did it, to have this understanding of human rights shared throughout the European region.
Can't we just lock it then?
We started it.
But surely, I mean, it predates the EU. Surely it should be the case at this point. We've been through that whole thing, EEC, EU. We got out of that. Now we want sovereignty. Can't the same apply to a court that is no longer fit for purpose, Leo?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it seems ridiculous. I know people say, oh, but it's not part of the EU. It doesn't, Brexit doesn't affect it.
You weren't doing an impression of me.
No, I was doing an impression at a generic level.
I was just about to say that. It's not a part of the EU.
If you...
yeah, but no one's saying
yourself in that. Then
is that how I sound like?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Josh, no one is saying it's part of the EU. Some people get it confused with the European Court of Justice. It's not the same thing, right? So we're not saying it is the EU's court. But what we're saying is the principle why people voted for Brexit was the principle of sovereignty, was the principle of democracy. So surely the same principle should apply when it comes to the European Court of Human Rights.
Absolutely,
right?
And especially considering that now that we've left the EU, France is sort of punishing us slightly by
vindictive people, aren't they?
Allowing a lot more migrants to cross the channel. They are, as you say, very, very spiteful people. But yeah, so on Wednesday, 900 people crossed the channel, and this is dangerous. They're coming across on on little boats and stuff, and more than 75,000 have arrived in the UK since current records began in 2018, and it's increasing every year.
And you would agree, Josh, surely, that it is not good for the people who are being exploited. Taking those boats, small boats, on one of the most dangerous, busiest waterways in the world, this isn't a good idea, is it?
No, it isn't a good idea. But then also, if other avenues of immigration, legal immigration, are closed off, then the options disappear.
OK.
Well, because not everybody can just come. You can't just contact.
I just want to make that voice again.
But that means they won't be able to get in at all. It's like, yeah, that's the whole point.
OK, I think we should stop impersonating each other. I think that's a little...